our first ever podcast, brought to you by IEEE CTSOC. Today we have with us someone very special. She has a gift for public speaking. She has organized and conducted student-oriented global events to interact with industry professionals. She has worked with IBMers all around the world and delivered multiple student track sessions at IBMZ annual conference, IBMZ Day, as an active member of the IBMZ Ambassador student community. Today we have with us Komal Mann, Systems Reliability Engineer Intern at Nutanix. Welcome, ma'am.
Well, thanks a lot, Vanshika, for such an amazing introduction. Thanks for inviting me. I'm really glad to be here today. And as Vanshika mentioned, I'm a final year computer science engineering student at Chandigarh University and working as a systems reliability engineer intern at Nutanix. That's what I'm currently interning at here in the Bangalore office. I have also been selected as an IBM Z Ambassador of the Year, and I love all things about public speaking, technologies, and all things related to this. So yeah, that's pretty much about me. Very excited to be here and finally, interacting with you all.
Ma'am,
Thanks
we are
again.
really excited to host you. And I think our viewers already know your achievements, but I don't think they know what happens in the background. And above all, they don't know about your story. So why don't you give them a brief about how your journey started?
Absolutely. Yeah. So when I started with computer science, I didn't know about it at all. In my 12th standard, it wasn't my plan to get into computer science. So when I started with my first year, it was really tough for me to finally understand the world of computer science, how a coding language works, and all things like that. Though it's pretty easy, but for people who are doing it for the first time, it gets difficult and it requires a lot of dedication to finally understand it. And then, yeah, same, my journey is pretty similar. I started in my first year, took a lot of time to understand things, and then finally, with dedication and hard work, when I started understanding coding, computer science fundamental subjects, I finally started liking it. And just like every other student whose dream is to get one of the best placement in his or her university, I too dreamt of getting a good placement and started working towards it every day and backed my dream placement offer from Nutanix as a systems reliability engineer intern. And yeah, that's pretty much what I have been doing in my past 3 years of college. Apart from that, I also participated in a lot of activities, co-curricular activities, like was part of many tech communities, the IBM Z student community, the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador program. Yep, that's what my journey looks like overall. Would love to share more insights in today's interview.
So, ma'am, as you mentioned that you did not plan to be a part of the computer science community, as you call it. So, what was the inspiration? And I know that you were new to it. So, what pulled you towards computer science?
It was out of influence or suggestions from my network. As I was exploring various options that I can explore after 12th standard that I can get into. And it was out of suggestions that from one of my relatives that why don't you try computer science? So when I did my own research, like that, yeah, that's what it looks like. I decided to go towards it. But however, it was not out of passion, out of something I liked, which might be the case for many people, which is, to be honest, very great when you know that you want to do something that you like, but it wasn't the case for me. It was for me that I had to explore it first and then decide. So, yeah, it was out of suggestions and out of my own research that I want to go into computer science.
Still, what you've accomplished is quite remarkable.
Yeah, because as I started in the first year, I knew if even if I don't know it at this point, I want to learn it. It's not difficult. No matter if people surrounding me know everything at first, but yeah, it will take time, but I will do it. That's the kind of
So, you just
the
put all your hard work in.
yeah. It took a lot of hard work. I'm not someone who learns very quickly things. I'm not someone like that. So it took time for me and a lot of hard work to finally get into that flow.
Yeah, some people just take their own pace. That's the same case with me. I just like a topic, I like to study about it. So I take my own pace. I don't rush or do it in a hurry. So I just get my concepts clear, the basics clear, because in the end, those matter a lot. So I'm
Absolutely.
sure the
It's all
four
about the
years
basics.
of, sorry, ma'am?
I said it's all about the basics. True.
Yes, ma'am, definitely. So I'm sure the 4 years of BTech must have passed in blink of an eye. So when did you realize that you have a mountain of placements to crack, and when did you start preparing for the same?
It was always from the start, you see your seniors getting placed in big companies and you're like, yeah, I want to be there. So whenever I saw my seniors on stage, I had that feeling that I want to be there as well in 2 to 3 years. So from first year, second year, but didn't have that pressure, from first year itself. Uh, placements that normal students do have. But in third year, it does get intense, when you have people surrounding you getting placed in different companies and you are supposed to be appearing for different interviews and all such. So that's where it all started towards the end of third year, I guess sixth semester. And I gave multiple interviews, but faced some rejections as well. But it's part of the process. Everything is part of the process. And, the main important thing is to keep going.
So, as we all know, Chandigarh University is a private college, and every person we meet around the corner at Nest Cafe or Corner Cafe, they're all CSE students. Like the majority are CSE students. So, we know that there's a rat race going on. And so, how did you prepare yourself to be unique or apart from the rest of the crowd? So, what all unique initiatives did you take?
Definitely, there is a lot of crowd in Chandigarh University. We have a lot of people coming from various parts of the world, and that was the case in my, years too, in my CS years too. So, and you'll find people who are already good at it, who are already done a lot of things that you are required to do in your college years, who are good with coding, who are good with DSA, and nowadays it's normal. It's pretty normal since we have access to internet and everything is on YouTube. So I had such people too. And to be honest, it gets overwhelming at first when you have people who are already, excellent at things that you are still learning. So I had that feeling too, but it's important to realize that everybody's journey is not same. It's your journey, that it's your path that you need to shape and realize where you are at now, where you need to get to in a period of time, and work towards that. And that's what I did. Like, even if it was C programming language that I didn't understand in my first year, I knew that I wanted to learn it. So I planned my own strategy, I did my own things, and finally got to that point. So, and other than that, I didn't compare myself. Initially, I used to, but I realized that isn't of much use. You end up, just being confused and being feeling inferior. So that's what I stopped doing and believing in myself. That are the things that I did. Uh, Started believing in myself, planned my own strategy, did not compare to other people, and knew I can do it even if it will take some time.
Ma'am, that was really insightful and equally inspiring. How did you gain this clarity of thought? Like for me, it's really complicated. One day I'm thinking of doing DSA, the next day I'm thinking like maybe I should do machine learning or focus on OS, or it's just a mind maze going on.
It comes with experience and it also comes with insights from your seniors. I used to be very confused, this needs to be done, this needs to be done, ye bhi padna hai, and all of those things. But when you talk with your seniors, they give you the real insights. Okay, this is important, this is important. And then you make your own list. Okay, if I'll be appearing for this interview, I'll be asked such topics. You make a list of those: operating system, networking, a bit of DSA, programming language, fundamental subjects, all of that things. And then you decide how you're going to learn all of that. It never is done in one day, not in a month. It takes time. All you need to do is have a plan. This concepts will be completed in so many days, this and this, and that's how you achieve those. Not only just make a plan, work, stick to it, work towards it. And that's what I did. I used to talk to my seniors and ask them that should I do this, should I do this, and after talking to them, it was, it used to get pretty clear. Okay, this is important, this I can put on hold. And that's how I got clarity, what needs to be prioritized, what not. So yeah, have a network, talk to your
Really
seniors.
amazing.
Yeah,
So, ma'am, as you mentioned that you were involved in a lot of activities, how did you think those extracurricular activities or co-curricular activities helped you as a student in your growth process? And are those values that you learned still helping you right now?
absolutely, yes. I always love public speaking, but it requires confidence, and confidence comes with experience when you come out of your comfort zone. And those programs, IBM Z Ambassador program, the Microsoft Lunch and Ambassador program, I was also a coordinator of Presenters Club in Chandigarh University. All of those opportunities gave me multiple opportunities in turn to build my confidence, to come out of my comfort zone. And the reason I'm able to speak now comfortably, guide my juniors, is because I did the same back then. I came out of my comfort zone and did what I liked, public speaking, even though it was difficult. And believe me, especially a part of being a part of the IBM Z Ambassador program, interacting with Z Ambassador from all around the globe, people from US, from England, and working with IBMers, it helped me learn about a professional work environment, how people collaborate, how people work with each other, how people talk. So that's where I learned everything, and it gave me a pretty good insight about how things go around in a professional environment. And yeah, I did that, I think, for 18 months, and it helped me a lot. Now when I officially started working as an intern at a company, I went with a lot of confidence that, yep, I already had a good knowledge about how people work, how people speak, how you're expected to work in a professional environment, and also had a lot of confidence to share my own thoughts about what I believe, what I do, and all of those things. So, yep, those programs really helped me, and I highly do encourage all my juniors to take part in other activities that can help you grow, not only just technically but personally too, so that you have your network, you have the people who support you.
So, ma'am, how did you make any tweaks in those in your regular day-to-day life to accommodate for all these extracurricular activities? Because right now I come to college at around 5, and then I don't know where the day passes.
Yeah, to be honest, it is tough. Even the college work is overwhelming, and on top of that, doing extracurricular activities and being around so many things, it is tough. But the thing is to first of all realize your priorities. Of course, your placements, your studies are the first priority, and then comes the other things which can help you develop your own personality. So plan accordingly, have a plan. I used to plan ahead, like a week ahead, and have the plan ready that this is what I'm going to do. This on the weekends, I might be taking out time for the speaking opportunities, the programs, and all of those things. So that's how I used to do it. Prioritizing the things and then making a plan. And then, yeah, I know I'm repeating, but that's what I did. That's what I have been doing in the past 3 to 4 years. So it's,
Ma'am,
yep.
that all just screams hard work and dedication. But did you at times feel yourself surrounded by hurdles or obstacles, or perhaps your apprehensions or self doubts? And how did you overcome those?
Yep, I did. You feel a lot of overwhelmed, and you kind of think what's gonna happen, and always this thing that what if I don't make it? What if I'm doing all of those things, but what if it doesn't work out? And I used to face that too. But that is part of the process, believe me. It If you keep working and if you keep working hard, if you see that you're progressing each day, eventually you will make it. But if you just be in that pressure, what if I don't make it, and don't do anything that is required to be done, the hard work that you need to do, the concepts that you need to learn, you're eventually not going to make it, because you were too pressurized to work and get the things done that are required. So yeah, I have the goal, but don't take that pressure. Just take it as a journey, take it as something that you need to get done instead of worrying a lot about what if it doesn't happen, because that is not in your control. What is in your control is to keep working hard. And the hurdles that I face are, understanding concepts, being comfortable around technology, the fundamental subjects, and all of those things. But everything happens if you are putting the effort to understand it, because you won't understand it once, twice, but at least the third time you will get it. But you need to stick around to understand it. That's what I did. And the another hurdle, I think, rejections. Yeah, rejections are part of the placement process. You will have multiple companies visiting your campus, and you will be interviewing for many companies. At least I did, and it doesn't always work out. It might sometimes, and that's absolutely great. But in majority of the cases, the things that you have imagined for yourself might not work out. And in that case, the thing, it's important to just keep going. I know it feels bad, but get back up strongly and think that, yep, that happened, but now what's next? You won't believe, Nutanix was my dream offer, but it didn't happen in the first time. Like, I appeared for the online test, and somehow I wasn't shortlisted, and it felt bad because that's what I was preparing for. And in, I think, in a week or in a few days, they gave another shortlist that these are the final shortlist students, and that's where my name was. And but in that 1 week, I knew it felt bad, but I was ready that, okay, it's done, it's not happening, I work towards it, but it's fine. But what's next? And I was, preparing for the next thing. But yeah, I was lucky, kind of, that they set in another shortlist, proper shortlist, and I was a part of that.
I think dealing with failures is also a very important skill that you have accomplished. And I think that through failures, only one can learn, from their weaknesses. We get to know about our weaknesses through our failures, of course. And that's how our journey goes. It should not be always stagnant, no? Always, if there's success, then we can't value it. I think that.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm having a really great time interacting with you, and I'm sure so will be the viewers. So you really know how to keep the crowd engaged. Did you use this effective communication and soft skills to your benefit during your interview rounds? And how important are soft skills or communication skills in for today's generation?
They are very essential, believe me. Like, even if you're good at concepts, even if you're good technically, you need to express that to the interview that you know it. And the way you can do it is by being good at communication, by having good interpersonal skills, knowing how to engage with the interviewer. And in my case, like, I had two technical rounds, and then managerial, and then director's round. And everywhere I needed to speak, I needed to express myself, what I think, what knowledge do I have. And if you're really good at communication, it is a plus point. It really is. So yeah, communication skills and knowing when to speak, when to stop is really important. And during your college years, for first year students, you'll get a lot of opportunities to build that confidence, to come out of your comfort zone, to speak with people, to learn all of these skills. So my advice for you is, don't lose these opportunities, even if it might be something that you think you're not good at it, but you won't, learn it if you don't come out of your comfort zone. So make the best out of these opportunities, because having good communication skills really help in the long run. Now when I'm interning at Nutanix, speaking with people day to day, having interaction with senior engineers, senior directors, managers, and all of such, if you have good communication skills, it really helps to build that relationship with them. And it gives them also confidence that, yes, you're not just, the people who are good technically, but you also know how to speak, how to behave, how to talk with people. So yeah, they are very important.
So, ma'am, speaking about corporate life, why do you think there are so less women in tech?
First of all, I think the main reason is lack of awareness. For example, in my case, living in a rural area in Punjab, I didn't know that I can get into computer science. Why? Because no awareness at all. Like, no knowledge that there is that powerful world of tech that I can get into and build a profession or build a career for myself. So yeah, lack of awareness is one thing, especially in rural areas. And another thing, I think there is that thing that tech is not for girls. People,
Yeah,
yeah, people do have
enjoy
that belief. People do have that belief that girls are not smart enough to get into tech or progress into that. Don't get me wrong, tech industry is very sportive. Majority of the people you will find are very sportive and won't have this perception, but there are instances where people have that belief that girls won't be able to do as well as boys. So I think so. These are the reasons that prevent girls from getting into tech. But majority of the case, it's about awareness. If you have that knowledge, probably one can get into it, research about it, and make your own path.
that was really inspiring. So, do you think that, as we all know, that in the gender ratio in our classes, so that's like really reflective of our society and how the like the root cause, like the root thing that we can get, like why women, why there are less women in tech, because they and don't enroll. A lot of girls don't enroll for these tech-oriented courses. So, when we speak about our gender ratio in classes, so do you think that acts as a hurdle or that somehow stops girls to participate more in these tech-oriented courses?
Yeah, it does get overwhelming. In my case, there used to be just 5 to 6 girls out of 70 students. So yeah, that isn't a very right environment or the one that a girl wants. Surrounding girls and a lot of other people. But in that case, the best thing to overcome this is to build your own network. Come out of that classroom, build, have interact with seniors, have global connections, and you won't face that feeling ever. That you don't have enough girls in your classroom if you have connections outside that one group. So yeah, it's important to interact with people outside of that box, build connections, and believe me, that really helps. The more connections you have, the more people that you have supporting you, the more people you're learning from and picking the best things from them. It helps you individually. It helps you in turn build your own personality. So yeah, the way to overcome that is do this. That's my recommendation.
So, ma'am, do you want to tell our viewers about the companies that come especially to hire for women centric job roles and what should be the strategy to crack those interview rounds?
You'll have multiple opportunities, women-centric opportunities, for example, from Amazon, from Adobe, and other companies as well. I think from Walmart as well. Yeah. So there are multiple opportunities that come just for women, and the important thing, like the placement criteria or the requirements are pretty similar to other opportunities. The best thing to do is to look for such opportunities so you don't miss them. You are updated with all of the opportunities that are available around in the tech industry, and the best way to do that is stay online on LinkedIn, stay updated on LinkedIn, and research for opportunities that are available. Stay in touch with people who have already done it, and so that they can share whenever opportunities are available. And also keep doing your own research, keep doing your hard work, but on top of that, keep doing your own research so that what can you do, what are the opportunities that are available. And yeah, and side by side, the most important thing is to prepare for them, to know what's required from you and to get that done.
So, ma'am, what's more important, the essay or projects?
Oh, this question. I always, it's always, I think, part of the placement interview event. And I think there's not one conclusion to it, projects or DSA. It's all about which role do you want to get into. There are companies hiring just on based on the projects. There are companies hiring on DSA, and majority of the companies do hire based on DSA because that's what is mainly important in technical rounds and coding interviews. But there are companies nowadays who hire based on your projects, based on your open source contributions, based on what you have been doing as in like technically, actually the projects that you have been building, the communities that you have been interacting with. So it depends. It depends on the role. It depends on the company you want to get into. The big companies, the funk companies, famous companies, they do hire based on DSA. That's uh, already there, but there are startups who do hire based on projects. So it's up to you, where do you want to go. So according to that, I think DSA or projects can prioritize. But being good at everything, I think, is what I recommend. First, getting DSA done, having good grasp over coding language, and then data structures and algorithms, knowing at least the basics, and doing projects side by side. I think that's what can help.
So, ma'am, last but not the least, what advice or mantra would you like to give our young aspirers, especially the girls who are really wanting to put all of their 100% hard work to ace that interview round?
There's no success mantra as such. You build your own success mantra with time, But the one thing that is for sure, if you give something your 101%, you will definitely make it. Maybe not sooner, but you will. It might take your time. You might face a lot of rejections. It might not happen the way you want it, but it will ultimately. So, yeah, the main important thing is to keep going even through failures, through rejections. It may feel bad, but it's important to get back up strongly and keep going. And other than that, I think it's important to have your own path. Nowadays, you'll find a lot of roadmap for first year, for second year. In my opinion, that doesn't help, having a proper roadmap built by someone else. That might have worked for them. Know what's going to work for you and keep doing the things that you think will help you. Get insights from seniors and shape your own strategy and then work towards it. I think that's what has really helped me, and that's what I would share as advice to other students who are in computer science, so that they can build their own path and eventually have their own success mantra that work for them, because success mantra is not something that is unique, but the thing that is always there is that if you work hard, if you give it your 101%, you will eventually make it. You might not see that those results, you know uh, a lot sooner than you expected, but it will happen.
Ma'am, so what's next for you? You've cracked your
um,
placements, so what next?
Currently, as interning as at Nutanix, I am definitely planning or working towards getting a full-time offer from Nutanix so that I can, have that my dream job that I'm always dreaming of. That's my plan, and that's what I've been working for since last 4 months. Yeah, and the struggle always goes on. Even if
Yeah.
you get the offer, the struggle is always there. Believe me.
Ma'am, we wish you all the best for your future endeavors. It was lovely to have you. Thanks for taking your precious time out for us.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Vanshika. It was really great interacting. I finally became a part of an event after a long time. I used to do this a lot every week, I think 2 to 3 times a week. But this time it was a huge break in between because of my internship, and I love doing this after a long time. Thank you. Thanks for inviting me. It was really great
Thanks for being with
interacting.
us here,
And
ma'am.
feel free to connect with me and to the viewers as well.
Sure, ma'am.
All right. Thank you. Have a good
Thank you,
day.
ma'am.